So I should be focusing on my internet title match with Zack Sabre Jr. But instead, I'm distracted by Drake. Now, we wrestled. You attacked my leg, which is a smart strategy. You cheated. And you know what? That's part of pro wrestling. I'm okay with people trying to cheat to beat me. That's fine. But you cheated and you got yourself disqualified. So I won, but as far as I'm concerned, it's not over. And tonight, I will end it.
Here comes a man who has an ironclad contract with Defiant Wrestling after his victory over Gabriel Kidd 2 weeks ago. Zack Gibson can essentially do what he likes.
Absolutely, who's going to stop this man? He has the swagger, he has the skills in the ring, he has the attitude to go all the way. Zack Gibson wants to take over Defiant Wrestling. He wants to become Defiant's #1.
The following is a singles match set for one fall. It has a 20-minute time limit. Introducing first, he is Liverpool's #1, Zack Gibson.
Zack Gibson, ever confident, describes himself as Liverpool's #1, says he is soon to be the world's #1. And what better platform for him to prove that point than right here in Defiant Wrestling?
Well, you think about everything that's going on here in Defiant Wrestling. People coming to take over Zack Gibson. Oh, we're about to hear from the Scouse sensation himself. Leeds, they're not happy, Dave Bradshaw. Zack Gibson doesn't care.
Well, get the interpreter at the ready.
I know who I am Liverpool's #1, Zack Gibson. Soon to be recognised as Defiant's #1. Soon to be recognised as the UK's #1, and soon to be recognised as the world's #1. And once again, I have been dragged from my home, dragged from Liverpool, in the snow, on the rail replacements, just to get here to Leeds, to be greeted by Defiant and their crew of smart fans.
Oh, not this again.
Bit of a trans-Pennine rivalry
We're
here.
chatting Yorkshire now, are we? Is that a thing that we do now, is it? For a room full of smart fans, the best chant that you can come up with is f***ing Yorkshire. A room full of smart fans who watch videos such as the top 10 swerves in pro wrestling, the top 10 bad guys in pro wrestling. Every single day you need your entertainment clipped, made digestible, because there is one thing, Leeds, that you are definitely not. It's smart. How about for the next hit video, we do the top 10, couple of hundred bell ends from Leeds.
I think I'll get started in writing that one straight away.
Can we cut this guy's mic?
Why would you want to do that? Zack Gibson had something to say. He's damn well sure going to say it. So you might as well get out of the way, just like all these people in Leeds, and let him.
In case you haven't guessed yet, I couldn't care less what you think about me. I couldn't care less what you tweet about me or what you want to chant at me whilst we're here. This is a message to all of the divs that run this company, a message to all of the marks that pretend to be wrestlers backstage. This is a message to everyone watching. I pretty much do whatever I want.
Now what is this?
What I do, what I say is all my own. I don't know who they've lined up for me today. I don't care who they've lined up for me today, because this match ends one way. When I drop you on the deck, wrap your arm around your head, lock the Shankly gates, and whoever this mystery opponent of mine may be, you will tap out to Liverpool's #1, Zack Gibson.
And look at what Gibson is wearing. Bradshaw hasn't escaped my attention.
Well, thank God he's finished talking. Gibson, by the way, is not part of IPW. He's just making a statement of intent here that he can do whatever he likes. He knows that's going to annoy Stu Bennett, and here's someone who might annoy Zack Gibson.
Introducing his opponents from a town called MILLIE, Flash Morgan Webster!
Great to see Flash Morgan Webster here in Defiant Wrestling. He was part of the Pro Wrestling World Cup over the summer in those Rest of the World qualifiers, eventually losing to Angelico. Oh, but Morgan Webster making his full debut here in Defiant tonight in Leeds.
Flash Morgan Webster understands style, Dave Bradshaw. You can't argue with that. He just personally complimented me on my new jacket.
Did he really?
You heard him.
You ever heard of sarcasm?
What's that?
I'll tell you when you're older. Anyway, Morgan Webster, very much more popular here in West Yorkshire than Zack Gibson.
Oh, these morons in Yorkshire, they're just jealous of Liverpool's #1. He can say and do whatever the hell he wants to, and he's about to prove it, I fear, even though Flash Morgan Webster complimented me on my jacket. Well, he may be taking a one-way trip to the nearest hospital, if you know what I mean, after this one's done.
Well, just a year ago or so, Flash Morgan Webster was on the long-term injured list. So great to bounce back in 2017. As we said, an impressive performance in those Rest of the World qualifiers. Only narrowly missed out on the last 16, and a chance to further cement his reputation here if he can shut up Zack Gibson. Someone has to.
Well, Webster's story is one of a kind, Bradshaw. He rose up against all the odds to live his dream as a pro wrestler, and how fitting, because he'll have to rise up again against all the odds if he wants to beat Zack Gibson.
Slap from Gibson, the disrespect. And a rear waistlock from Gibson. Going to try and take Webster down by the arm.
Hey, and this is just another example. This is Zack Gibson showing what he said is true, that he can do whatever he wants here in Defiant Wrestling.
Well, don't forget, coming up before we go off air tonight, the Defiant World title on the line. Unbelievably, I still can't quite get over it. Our champion is Austin Aries. He is defending against the Kiwi buzzsaw, Travis Banks.
What a hell of a match that's going to be. But here, inside the ring, Flash Morgan Webster looking to evade and escape the clutches of Zack Gibson. He does.
What a coup this would be for either Morgan Webster or Zack Gibson to start their 2018 off in style.
Oh, Gibson just disrespecting Flash Morgan Webster. Maybe Gibson feels because he has the size and oh! Hey, size only matters when you're upright.
Well, I hope that was right in the mouth. Gibson doesn't have an ounce of respect for anyone in his body. With Morgan Webster to the outside, Gibson moved out of the way and takes advantage.
Oh.
Webster on his shoulders. Gibson, in the end, is the one who goes into the ring post.
Webster showing how resourceful he is.
Webster swinging round into a Hurricane Rana, sends Gibson into the crowd barrier.
Back first when Liverpool's #1. I bet you Zack Gibson doesn't feel like #1 right now.
He comes out here with that arrogant swagger, thinks it's hilarious to wear an IPW t-shirt under the current climate. Well, Morgan Webster has given him a reality check here. At least he was.
In fairness, Bradshaw, Zack Gibson is a world-travelled, world-class athlete. He has earned the right to brag. Okay, sometimes he's a... Oh!
Hand right into the steel for Gibson, and the rest of his body follows.
And again, hard into that security barricade.
Morgan Webster, smash mouth in his style.
Oh.
He'll run around. He's going to do a full lap of the Defiant ring and crashes into Gibson.
That was like Usain Bolt. The mod Usain Bolt. How about that?
Well, Usain Bolt, of course, retired last year. Morgan Webster is just in the early part of his career, and he is going to take to the sky here. Webster. Gibson charged at him. He rolled through, landed on his feet. Now he's deposited on the turbo. Look at this from Gibson.
Oh, forget about it. Forget about it. Put this man in a body bag. It's all over.
Goes for the cover, hooks the leg, and Morgan Webster kicks out on two. What a quick fire combo into that lung blower from Gibson.
But incredible resilience from Flash Morgan Webster. I didn't think he would kick out of that one. I didn't think anyone could kick out of that. Zack Gibson, precision speed for such a big man.
And those kicks, those strikes so hard from Gibson.
Oh, don't clap your hands. That's disgusting. If Zack Gibson sees you do that, Bradshaw, you'll be beaten up again.
I was applauding Webster.
Oh,
Anyway,
of course.
cover by Gibson. Again, the leg hooked. Again, a kick out. Gibson is starting to wear down this young man from Wales.
One thing Gibson can't afford to do is let the people in Leeds get inside his head. That's Gibson's game. Getting inside his opponent's head, getting into the minds of all these morons out here. He can't let them get into his head.
Well, he claims not to care what they think, but for someone who doesn't care what they think, he gets awfully distracted by them sometimes, as Gibson.
Nobody cares about Yorkshire.
You say that about wherever we go.
Oh, well,
Look, anywhere that's not your own house.
apart from Orlando, that's a wonderful, beautiful place, partly because I live there. But anyway, on with the match. Gibson in complete control.
And not only in complete control, but you saw how he twisted that left leg of Morgan Webster. Gibson, another one of those disrespectful slaps across the face.
Well, look, Gibson, he's hearing what these people in Leeds have to say. He's not happy that they're chanting for Flash Morgan Webster.
Yeah, but again, he can be as rude as he likes to these Defiant fans. Gibson has that ironclad contract.
Absolutely.
Whatever he says, he's not going to get fired.
He also got a taste of some of his own medicine.
Morgan Webster backed into the corner. Over
Wow.
the agility from the Welshman. Ducks the clothesline from Gibson. He's too fast for Zack Gibson. It's Morgan Webster.
Hey, I'm impressed by this young Welshman. So impressive in the Pro Wrestling World Cup and here in Defiant Wrestling.
Yeah, but can he finish it? It's a running forearm right into the face of the Liverpudlian. He's going to send him to the opposite corner. No, he's not. Gibson reverses. Leapfrog from Webster. A Hurricane Rana. Quick as a hiccup from Flash Morgan Webster.
Takes a lot of leg strength to take over a man the size of Gibson.
Webster leaping through the air. Absolutely fearless.
I'm impressed with Webster. Hey, you have to give him one thing. He's certainly taking the fight to Liverpool's #1. But what does this mean? What happens if both these men get counted out?
Well, I mean, that's all you can do against Gibson. He's such an aggressive competitor. You have to do the same. Offense, the best form of defense against this guy. With a second rope moonsault from Webster. He'll hook the leg and another two.
Zack Gibson in real trouble here. Liverpool's #1, that ironclad contract. He has ironclad confidence. Might not want to admit it, but he's getting a hell of a test from Morgan Webster.
Webster looking for the fireman's carry. Gibson refusing to be taken off of his feet. Gibson, or Webster will try again. Drops him face first.
Oh, wow.
The cover. Webster with his body weight on the shoulders, and Gibson found a way out.
Well, Zack Gibson has already dispatched of one young lion, Gabriel Kidd, here in Defiant Wrestling, but Flash Morgan Webster proving a bit more troublesome.
Webster is looking to take to the skies. Gibson took advantage of Webster being a little bit slow to get up there. At least he tried to. Gibson pushed away. Webster up on the top floor. Webster! A senton bomb right into the small of the back of Gibson.
And look at this, Webster's not finished.
Webster trying to apply a chokehold here of some kind. Gibson may have to tap. Webster using his whole body weight for extra leverage. Look how he's got his his legs wrapped around that lower back that he just hit with the senton.
Oh, but look at the strength of Gibson. Oh,
Counter from Webster. Webster again into the guillotine. The guillotine. Gibson may tap. Gibson may tap here. Gibson.
Oh, so close, Gibson.
Referee Chris Sharp is checking out whether Gibson tapped. He didn't, and look at the strength again.
Again, that power, the power advantage of Zack Gibson, the size and strength coming into play.
Yeah, the rest of his body is finely tuned as his voice box, unfortunately for Webster.
He's a hell of a singer.
Not what I meant. Boot up into the face from Webster.
Oh!
The referee pushed in the way. Gibson chopped Webster in the throat. And now what's this? From Gibson. Twisting brainbuster. You know what's coming now.
Oh, here we go.
Gibson locks in the Shankly gates.
Hey, when Gibson locks this in, it's all over with.
Well, that was it. Academic.
It's a formality.
Here is your winner as a result of a submission, Liverpool's #1, Zack Gibson.
So Zack Gibson, despite a fighting effort from Flash Morgan Webster, makes his official Defiant record 2-0 here after a second win. Gibson, of course, with that ironclad contract, continuing to do whatever he wants to whoever he wants.
Well, Gibson racking up the wins here in Defiant Wrestling. Hey, you can now argue with success. This man does exactly what he says he will do. You might not like him, but you must respect Zack Gibson.
God, do we have to hear from him again?
Again, beautiful singing.
Why'd you give him a mic, Stevie? Why'd you give him a mic?
Is this it? Is this it? Nah, I don't think I will. Nah, I don't think I will. I don't think I will. Is this it? Easy. Easy. Is this the best that Stu Bennett and Defiant?
Oh, come on.
Is this the best you got, Stu? Take some notes wherever you are, because this is only the beginning.
Wait! Oh my! He's back! He's back! Rampage is back!
Hey, you want competition? You're going to get it, Zack Gibson, in the biggest way possible. Rampage! Gibson doing a very good impression of me, Dave Bradshaw. He's getting the hell out of Dodge.
Rampage invading the ring here. We haven't seen Rampage for months. And Gibson is using the ring announcer as a human shield. Not so tough are you now, Gibson? He's scarpering.